Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I appreciate you all watching, and today we're going to talk about something that's actually pretty insane, like everything else I've been doing lately. And also, I just want to thank you all for asking about me and of how I'm feeling and all of that. I'm good. Everything is great. These things are just really heavy, and so I might come off a little bit like that, but it's, I feel an obligation to do these stories and to bring the truth to the table. So thanks for caring about me and asking, and everything is great. So with that, let's move on. And I want to talk about this young trans man who just passed away at the age of 24. I've been getting a ton of people sending me all this information, and so let's just get right into it. I'll bring this up on the screen for you to see. This young trans man started testosterone in 2014. Then they got top surgery in 2017, and then they had a hysterectomy in 2019, and then they started their phalloplasty journey in 2021. So many people are saying that this person's death is a result of their phalloplasty surgery. And I'm going to have to say that I believe this could possibly be true, though this is my opinion, and we do not know if this is factual because the obituary does not state how this person died. But when you put all the pieces together, it pretty much shows that this person went downhill the minute they chose to do this surgery called phalloplasty. And if any of you don't understand what that is, it is the surgery that trans men get to have a penis, or it is called the bottom surgery. And in my opinion, and in my research, and in the people that I know and the people who have gotten it, it is not something that probably should be done. It is probably something that the regret rate is huge, and is also not necessarily functioning in the way that people think it's going to be functioning. So again, all my opinion on my research. I'm sure there's guys out there who will tell you they're happy with it, but the people I know who have gotten it wish they'd never gotten it. So with that, I'm going to bring up this first video of Griffin's back in the day, where he decided to discuss the surgery. And this is going to put a lot in your brain and understand why I said what I said, okay? And I stand by what I said. I do not believe this surgery should be offered, even if you are an adult and you can make these choices. This person went downhill, okay, after they had this surgery. So listen to this.
I feel like a lot of the time with phalloplasty, we tend to focus mainly on the physical and the visual results that a surgeon can give us, when we should equally be focusing on the transparency and the honesty of these doctors when it comes to how they perform their procedures and how they handle complications with current patients as well as past patients. If I could relive the past year of my fallow recovery, I would not go to the same surgeon that I ended up going to, because their aftercare was reprehensible, and their transparency ended up not being true at all. Throughout consults, my surgery team insisted on a 40 to 50% rate for post-op complications, but closer to 90 to 95% of their patients have had issues.
Wow.
I personally don't know anyone who has not had an issue arise with this team, no matter what changes they made to their process to cut down on these issues happening in the first place. For a majority of last year, I had urinary issues ranging from fistulas and strictures to complete bladder incontinence that went purposely untreated for months.
What?
No matter what symptom I made apparent to them and how severe it was never significant enough for them to want to intervene in time. My staging of procedures changed 4 times throughout this entire process, including once literally a week before my first surgery, and none of this changing in stages did anything to prevent any issues that would have arisen during my recovery. If I didn't get a second opinion from a different hospital after I started experiencing symptoms of blood clots in my legs and my lungs, there's a chance I might not be here right now, because they never diagnosed me for weeks and never performed any tests or exams or x-rays or scans or anything. In no way am I implying that all surgeons who perform phalloplasty are bad. There are great surgeons out there.
No, there's not.
I just made the wrong choice in ways.
No.
There are surgeons out there that will help you survive and recover in every way possible.
Survive.
And there are surgeons out there that won't try their hardest and sell a product that they don't have full reign of yet.
What?
If you're thinking about phalloplasty or actively pursuing it, just look for surgeons that have your best interest in mind, that give you complete transparency, and are committed to helping you the entire way.
If you ask me, this person who's now deceased at the age of 24 just said it all, okay? What I don't understand is this person not saying they wish they'd never gotten it. And I think it comes down to that cost sunk fallacy kind of space where you put so much into it that you're not willing to back out of it. And I get it. And I feel so sad for this young person that we no longer have. And I wish that I or some of us could have maybe helped this kid along the way, because looking at their TikTok, looking at all the stuff, they were trying so hard to be liked, and they were on TikTok and people were just, sort of worshiping them on this level. Like, wow, I want to get this. I want to have this. I can't imagine anybody who would want to have this surgery after watching this young person take this particular route and just go into such a deep, dark hole. I'm going to show you something here that somebody was kind enough to help me with and put down the timeline, okay? I'm not going to read it all because it will take up a lot of time, and I want to show you one more video. But in 2021, when they had the surgery in November, catheter due to urethral repair was used. Skin from mouth. Surgeon found bladder stones. Okay, then it goes to 22, and I'm going to put it up here on the screen. All of these complications started happening. Tons and tons. April 1st, 1 year post-op from phalloplasty, complications in the first year, pulmonary embolism, deep vein thrombosis, respiratory failure, renal failure, kidney, bladder, staph, fungal infections, internal scarring. Also got top surgery 5 years ago, but is still having issues with that. Then May, June, July, nerve damage, poor health. I mean, so many things are happening to this kid. October 6th, plus UTIs and kidney infection in 2022, 2 of which led to staph infection, 1 led to a blood infection. 2023, January has a heart attack. April, then he says no regrets and starts to show photos on the internet about it, because I really do think that he's trying to believe that what he did was not bad. But you heard in that video that he wished he went to another doctor. This doctor today, which I'll put the doctor's name in all of this, Boston Children's Hospital, which we know has had whistleblowers now, okay? So then June, throat catheter, a dozen infections, lupus, 5 blood transfusions, 4 more surgeries, and kidney failure. July, internal bleeding, dialysis, losing hair. August, multiple blood clots, kidney failure, autoimmune issues. Has to learn how to relearn how to walk again. Remember how old this kid is. Now he's like 23 doing all this. Since the surgery in 2021, he's just been literally in and out of the hospital. 2024, the year we're in now. May, balding accelerates, kidney still messed up. Proof of life on TikTok. July, passed away July 22nd. Unbelievable. I don't even know. I'm really trying not to cry. You all know that I cry because I can't stand it to watch these kids, and I'm trying really hard not to cry. I'm going to show you this particular post that I cut out so you can see that they got their surgery, their bottom phalloplasty surgery at the Boston Children's Hospital. Dr. Oren Ganor, Ganor, is the doctor. Now I'm going to show you this video that this young person made that is extremely important, okay? Because this is going to say it all right here. Says, how much was your phalloplasty? Because that's what he keeps being asked by everybody. How much was it? What I was billed versus what I paid. Are you kidding me? You're going to freak.
How expensive was my bottom surgery? I have all the details in my insurance app, so I'm going to go into much detail as I can regarding how much I was billed for all the surgeries and how much I actually paid out of pocket. Spoiler alert, I did not pay as much as I was billed.
Okay, so now you're going to see, now I'm going to move forward here because holy moly, this is going to blow your mind. So it goes on to talk about how much money I can't, it's too much, the video, it's too long, and I don't want to be showing it all because it's just insane. It's like 50,000 for this, 100,000 for that, 100,000 for that. Basically, this kid paid out of pocket, I think about, he'll tell you, watch this. And here it is. It shows you that it was specifically this hospital, and right there it says provider Oren Ganner. That's the surgeon.
Don't have the claim for the surgery itself, but it was around $20,000 to have the graft taken from my leg put onto my arm. But for the hospital stay and all that unrelated to the surgery, I was billed $120,000. A lot of numbers, I know. I've done the rough math, and including all of the surgeries, the hospital stays, the ER visits, the appointments, I've been billed about $670,000 altogether. And I still have some surgeries to go.
$670,000. That's how much this cost for this child. Okay, I don't care. 21 is a child to me, who started at 21. 607. If you don't think this is about money, I don't know what's going on. This is sick.
I still have some surgeries to go. I paid nowhere.
And he still has surgeries to go.
Near that amount. I made a bit of a dent into my deductible and my out-of-pocket max before the surgery. So bringing that into account, for this surgery alone, I've probably spent closer to like $5,700 when it was all said and done. So nowhere near that amount.
So he ended up paying $5,700 out of the $670,000. That is over $500,000 for something that didn't work, and eventually, probably, in my opinion, and many others, put him in a space where he is now in heaven. How are we doing this? How are we continually acting like this is gender-affirming care? This is not gender-affirming care. This is something else. This is something that we as people and human beings, put your political beliefs aside, put your beliefs about LGBTQIA poo-poo aside, put your beliefs about whatever lifestyles people lead aside. We all need to come together. These children are being used in an experiment. This doctor doesn't know what he's doing. The kid even said so. He wished he went to another doctor. I am livid and disgusted that I'm having to even do a video like this. And here we have kids on TikTok looking at this guy's profile and asking how much it costs, where did he get it from? He had stuff taken from his arm, from his leg, from here, had 1,000,000 trillion infections since the day one that he got this done. And all he did was go downhill. I was going to put pictures up so you could see the difference of before he went to Phalloplasty until the end, but I just don't feel comfortable doing that. You can go find the guy and you can find him, but I don't feel comfortable putting those pictures up. He's sickly. He's a sickly little child who looks so sick and so depressed and so over it. Yet there he was, still championing for it and still telling himself in his brain that he made the right choice. So I'm going to put up a link to his obituary right here. It's very sad, and they don't tell you why he passed. And he passed when he was at the UMass Memorial Medical Center, which is where he got his bottom surgery. And I'm ashamed, first off, that the trans community is letting this happen. And I don't want you to think I'm hating here. I'm concerned for the future of young people. As you might know, in my closing, I don't have this surgery, and I chose not to have this surgery for many reasons, okay? And I'm so happy I did not. I live a very fulfilling life without it, and I can prove to you today that transsexual people exist. So I don't want you to think that we don't. But what I want you to know is this is a mental disorder. It needs a lot of mental health care. This is the last resort, and I do not believe that bottom surgery like this should ever be offered until they can get it down perfectly. Thanks for listening. Please like this, share it, show it to people. I really feel it's probably one of my more important videos out there. And let's send this young child a lot of love and hope that they are doing okay wherever they are today, and their family a lot of love. And please don't put hate posts. Please just don't do it. It's such a sad, horrible story.
Welcome back, Emily. So as you know, about a month ago, I experienced the most excruciating pain of my life, which was childbirth. And today, Landon's gonna get a small taste of that.
I'm scared.
Obviously, there's no way to simulate a watermelon-sized baby coming out of a very small hole, at least for Landon here.
But at least we can kind of mimic a contraction.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today I'm diving deep into this particular YouTube family called Cameron family. And it's a very sad, tragic story that ends up even more sad and tragic, in my opinion. So thanks for joining me today. Thanks for liking, subscribing, getting notification, supporting the channel. Seriously, as you know, I'm continually being pushed on, but it's okay. I'm going to continue to bring these very important stories, in my opinion, as a elder transsexual person who sees things that I wish I didn't see, but need to be shown to the world. So with that, I want to talk about this family and the tragedy that happened first off with this young man here. These are teen YouTube influencers. You know how I feel about the family influencer space. I don't think it's healthy, and I find it to be repulsive, but that's just my opinion. And so this young family started out, they were teen pregnancy. Anyway, they ended up having 2 children, and this young man right here at 19 ended up offing himself, and it was just a tragedy. So I started to do some research because some people have been sending me videos about this mother who went on to still continue the channel and is still an influencer today. But the twist in this story is that this female woman here decided that within years of this death and the progression of this death of her husband, decided that they were going to start transitioning to live as a trans person, a trans male. It's shocking, actually, because I wanted to really do a little research before I talked about this, and I did, and it actually blows my mind what's happening with this person. I believe the transition, in my opinion, is a trauma response, has not been dealt with, the trauma. Watching all of her videos, and I'm going to say her prior to the transition, then I'll use the correct pronouns, but her during this time of her trauma was, it's just sad to watch the spin out, and the person is, why are they even on the internet during this time? It's just says so much to me about this whole influencer space. And I will show you this real here. Let me just, I brought that first video because I wanted you to get a idea of the family. And then what happens is, well, let me show you this also. Hold on one second here. So this is their YouTube channel. And I started from that video I just showed you. And then the next video is her talking about her husband passing away. I'm not going to show it. It's depressing, and I don't even want to put that there. It's very sad to me. She witnessed the death, and I think the trauma is there. And then you can start to really go and look at all the videos, and there's the babies, and they're putting the babies on the internet. And it's just, so she's struggling. She is struggling hard because now she's left with these kids, right? And so at one time she goes to rehab here, says goodbye, goes to rehab, starts to deal with whatever trauma is happening, still putting the kids on the internet, still talking about all that. Okay. Really talking a lot about how they're trying to be okay with themselves, how they're lonely, and just dealing with all the trauma, dealing with trauma. And then you can see she's just a girl dealing with her trauma. These are 2-3 years ago. You know, coping with the breakup, coping with all kinds of like just trauma, and dealing with raising these 2 kids. And it's really sad to me to watch. then talking about my sexuality, dating, and cannabis, which you should not be doing while you're dealing with all of this nonsense. And just a young kid dealing with being a pregnant, mother, blah, blah, blah. So really what I want to do is I'm going to get to the top here where I really noticed this all of a sudden change in this person. And it really, this is 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. Okay. Things are changing 1 year, 1 year. And here it comes. Okay. Addressing this, what situation, right? Then really talking about this. This is what I want to show you next.
Welcome back, Camille. I've been wanting to film this video for a while and discuss with you guys the trauma of growing up online on social media. I feel like in doing so, I need to first acknowledge the privilege that it is to make an income on social media. Just talking about the negative side of it without acknowledging the privilege that it is a little arrogant. But I just wanted to talk about my experience and the things that I sacrificed without really knowing that's what I was signing up for. That's what I was.
So don't forget, this young person is dealing with trauma of losing their husband and actually finding that person. And that person was in a coma for a while and just dealing, and then just also dealing with still being left with 2 young babies and raising them, and then still being on the internet during this time and being an influencer, but also talking about the trauma of being an influencer. So, being very honest about that. So after that one, I found this next one. So what I'm trying to show you is the timeline. There's a timeline here, and I can literally watch it a sort of indoctrination, because I don't know the people they were necessarily hanging out with, but they have like million something followers on their YouTube channel. They also have a TikTok channel. Of course they do. And that also has 1 point something million followers on it. And so the next video that I really thought was important was this one.
Welcome back, Camille. I can't believe I'm making this video today, but I've been writing my memoir and I got to the part in the book where these events are taking place. And I don't know, there's just so much in my book that this particular story isn't really the focus. It's a part of my story and it's something that happened to me. And I really want me telling this story to have the impact that I want it to have. So much of what I share online and in the book is in order to help people who have gone through similar things. And I just know there's a lot of girls watching my videos who have probably been through this.
She said girls, including herself, right? A lot of girls. So just remember, listen to this language.
I know a lot of people in my personal life who have been through this. And so today I want to share my story about the time that I was sexually assaulted.
And there we go. I'm not kidding. I am connecting the dots with a lot of these young people. A lot of them talk about their essaying, and it is really an instrumental part of this story, okay? And I see it standing afar as someone who transitioned at 30 years old, who went through a lot of traumas and things in my life, for sure, no doubt about it, but really did a huge amount of mental health care before I even took this step. One of the things I'm noticing about this young person, they don't talk about going to therapy. They don't talk about dealing with whatever traumas are going in this space. It's just, here's what happens next. Watch this.
It is pretty early in the morning. Dee Dee woke me up at like 6 a.m. because she had to go to the bathroom, and I've not been able to go back to sleep.
They ramble a lot, so I want to get to the actual part where they start to talk about, this is called getting my gender affirming haircut. This is the beginning. Look at them here. And then this is literally the sort of entry point into this transition space. They're getting a gender affirming haircut.
It doesn't feel like me. It doesn't match my personality or my outfits or anything going on with me. Also, I'm really sick of dyeing it. This is me. This is my face. You never like see that part of my face, my freaking hair.
What is this?
It's so much gender? And it covers me. Anyways, here is some inspiration pics.
What are you, like what?
So they don't get too wild with it. So yeah, Time for me to get my hair cut. Each of you get 5 cuts, and you can't do the top.
So I don't understand what this has anything to do with gender affirming. I just don't. So now they're just going to cut their hair short, right? So let me just move forward on this. Here they go. Here they go. Right here.
So just in a bad mood, really bad
Bam.
attitude. And then she steps away and goes
Bam.
to the front desk and
There's the beginning of it right there. Now they have a gender affirming haircut. Okay. So then this one is called I've started testosterone.
I haven't really talked about this online like at all, but people are starting to notice some changes in me, and I figured it was about time to share a bit about my experience with starting HRT. For the last 2 months, I've been taking a low dose of testosterone, and a lot of the times people's first reaction to that is,
Wow.
I thought you were non-binary, and I am. I consider myself to be trans-masculine. I'm not.
Okay, so here it comes. Here it comes. First, they started changing their identity to non-binary. It's the entry point. And then now they're trans-mask. What is trans-mask? Okay, it's
A trans man, but I am medically transitioning.
I'm not a trans man, but I am medically trans. Listen to this insanity.
In a masculine direction. There's a
So
lot.
basically, she wants to masculinize herself, okay? She has started, I'm sorry, I apologize. They want to masculinize themselves. They are not trans man. They just said it. They are a trans mask, okay? So they're not anything like me. I want to know where the diagnosis came from. Who gave you this diagnosis, and how are you getting the testosterone? Okay, and how long did it take you to get this? That nowhere do you even talk about this. You talk about getting the testosterone, you talk about being on HRT, you talk about your identity choices, but where's your mental health care? And how are you actually? I know you're an adult. You literally are a 24-year-old person at this point, so you really can do this because you're an adult. No doubt about it. The thing I'm trying to say here is I feel, in my opinion, that your transition is trauma based, because I don't see anything of you. I saw such you from going from such a female looking person to all of a sudden just literally masculinizing yourself. And talking earlier about your trauma from SA.
A lot of thought that went into the decision to start HRT, but when I really boiled it down, I thought about, what would happen, what changes.
Did you talk to an actual therapist about? No, you thought about it.
Would occur, what would the end result be, and is that something that I want? And when I simplified it like that,
you don't know what the end result will be. After 32 years, I still don't know what the end result will be.
And ask myself, would I want my voice to be deeper? Would that make me feel better? Yes, 100%. Would I want to be able to grow facial hair? Would I want a more masculine looking face? Yeah, those are all things that would make me really happy and feel more comfortable, regardless of labels, regardless of.
Why though? I really want to know why. Are you dealing with gender dysphoria? Or are you dealing with you don't want to be a feminine presenting person?
Anything else. When I sat down and really asked myself why, what do I want out of this? It was a simple answer. And since I'm on a low dose, those changes.
And what does that mean, you're on a low dose? What is all of this? I really want you to see. I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing. It's very, very sad for me to see this. It really is. I'm not in any way judging you, Cam. I'm telling you it's sad. I feel like you're being led down the wrong path. Okay. So the next thing I want to bring up here is this.
I'm not feeling the most confident lately.
Wow.
And it's
shocking.
not because I don't like what I'm seeing, but a lot of people are expressing that they don't like what they're seeing because it's not what they're used to seeing.
So here's the deal. Now this person is getting tons of hate comments. And I'm not cool with that. I think it's gross and disgusting. But that being said, if you remember what I showed you, if you look at their page, they still have the Cameron family up with their with the husband who past, and all the pictures of them as a woman and very ultra femme, and then now people are seeing this right here and they're going, what? So people are like, what are you doing? Like, why? And why are you transitioning in the public eye? This is the other question I have for you. Okay, somebody who has a huge following as a female, and now you're transitioning to a male. People see it. There, I watched the comments. A lot of people are like, this is trauma related. You're not dealing with your trauma. It's so obvious what's going on. So now you're upset because I see a lot of times you close your comments that people are voicing their opinion. When you put yourself on the internet, sorry, game on. People can say whatever they want to say about you.
Me, I don't know, knowing that every time I post anything anywhere, I can expect a ton of comments just picking me apart and picking apart my appearance and my gender expression.
Because you're looking for validation on the internet. Okay, that's not how transition works. You've got to validate yourself, and you should not be putting yourself on the internet in this early transition. You are going to get reamed by so many people. If you went into this with you already transitioned and maybe you're doing that, on top of it, you have 2 young kids. Okay, and then the people are going to be very judgmental about that, as I am. I personally do not think you should be putting these youngsters on the internet. I think it's actually child abusive and gross, in my opinion.
Makes it a lot harder to just be me and have fun on here. And that's such a contrast to like real life, because in real life, I'm feeling so much more confident, so
this
much
isn't
more
real
myself,
life.
and so accepting.
Oh my God, these people I just find it's just frustrating for me. Okay, so then the next one.
What do your children call you? That's another question that gets repeated a lot. And I feel like I've answered this, but I'll go ahead and answer it again because it's literally the #1 question I get. The kids call me mama. That's what they've called me since they were babies. I don't think it's something that I want to ask them to change, you know?
Excellent.
I could see
Thank
one
you.
day them calling me dad instead of mama, just kind of as they get older.
No.
But as of right now, I just see it as
thank you.
their nickname for me. It doesn't have this weight of being like a gendered term. I don't really
you
feel
are their mom.
that gendered weight until it's someone else calling me their mom. Like my friends and family call me the girl's parent. So instead of saying, oh, you're such a good mom, they would say, oh, you're such a good parent. I'm really glad that the girls have a parent like you.
Well, thank you for being honest about that. I appreciate that. And I do think that is actually healthy for the kids. They're already been traumatized. They lost their dad. And so for you to like do it, but anyway, thank you. That was actually really important. I appreciate that a lot. So this next one is called trying to build my confidence. So it's really interesting because I'm watching this person's whole appearance. Really, it's about this physical appearance and getting caught into all of the sort of very trendy way they all look the same.
Been peer pressured by my sisters to get an eyebrow piercing today. That's kind of
peer
true.
pressured into getting a piercing.
I've been thinking about it.
Wow.
For a while, but they're definitely giving me that push to get it done because they're also getting their eyebrow pierced today. And it's a lot less scary when it's like all 3 of us.
So they even said it. They have peer pressure to get their eyebrow pierced. I wonder if they had the same with that. I wonder if they had peer pressure in taking hormones and transitioning. I mean, it's just you're very clearly very vulnerable. You have this energy about you, and this transition feels that you're doing it for the outside world and not necessarily for yourself. This next one talks about their actual relationship with this other 2 people, and I want to show you something. First, let me just show you this.
The time is now, and I'm ready to share. It's just another one of those videos that I know people are gonna have a lot to say about it. I'm in a relationship with 2 people. Their names are Cody and Sean, and all 3 of us are dating. We refer to ourselves as a throuple, and Cody and Sean were married before.
I'm going to tell you that it's so part of this whole there's like 3 people involved, and one's trans mass, the other's, it's like a whole part of the whole thing. I'm all about experimenting with sexuality as an adult and all kinds of things. You go for it. But again, you're putting it on the internet with your kids. You don't think people are going to think this is actually insane? So the thing that I want to show you, I want to bring up here because I wanted to look into this situation. So here, let me bring this up. So I found this on, I think, Reddit, and it says Cam and family and children. Is anyone else really concerned? I'm not laughing. It's just totally insane. For Cam's children, this all over the internet. Not only were they born to teen parents, they're unfortunately ended who ended his life, and now their mother is bouncing from man to man and gives them no stability. Quite ironic. She gives her two boyfriends in the throuple the privacy of her two daughters were never granted. Also, apparently, Sean, boyfriend number one, is married to Cody, boyfriend number two, who is FTM when he was 30 something, and Cody was 20. So you see, so I was like, wow, I can just see the whole thing happening here, and it. Yeah, it just feels very trauma based to me. It just does, in my opinion. The whole thing feels very trauma related. So the last thing I'm going to bring up here is this person, Cam, has a huge following on TikTok, puts their children all over the place. And as you know, I'm not cool with that. And I will be blurring out the kids' faces here. But I just want to show you this right here.
Yes. It's a cookie. It's a cookie.
Oh.
What is this?
How many do you have?
I got two.
How many do you have?
One, two.
I got none.
Wait. These sound like Dad's.
Why?
I think this one's serious.
Why are you putting your kids on TikTok? On this just really blows my mind. This whole person and putting their trauma on the internet, putting their children on the internet, putting their transition on the internet, now putting their throuple on the internet. Now, many people are concerned for these children. They're like, I think they're like 6 and 2 or something now. And the going, like just all these boyfriends that this person had. If you notice too, they're attracted to men. They're attracted to males. They're not attracted to females. So, not that that is a thing, except for that just you see the difference between gender and sexuality. But I'm wondering, like, what's that all about, right? So a lot of us who transition as transsexuals were homosexual prior to this. That's totally been studied, and that's a fact-based thing. And so I really just want to say this to you, Cam, if for some reason somebody shows this to you. No hate to you in any way, shape, or form. I really wish you all the luck in the world. I wish you a lot of peace and happiness. But I'm going to say this as an elder transsexual. I really think you are, in my opinion, transitioning out of a very trauma-based space. And I don't see any of you're talking about mental health care and going to your therapist. You talk about going into your hormones. You talk about the changes. You talk about all very superficial things. But are you really talking about why you really decided that this was something you needed to do out of nowhere? I just literally watched out of nowhere. You just started becoming non-binary and then decided that you were trans-masculine and then decided that you wanted to take testosterone, and now you're getting top surgery. I mean, do you realize all of this is irreversible? You're never going back. So, okay, that's it. I just don't want it to feel like I'm like just hounding on this person. I'm using this person as another example of what's happening to these young girls who have a lot of trauma and are using transition to not think about that trauma and not to deal with that trauma. And it is very disturbing for me to see that. And I believe that there will be a lot of problems in the future if we don't nip this in the bud. It's too easy for these people to transition with no safe system, no way to help maneuver them before they make this life-changing and irreversible choice. And I care. It's why I make these videos, because I care, not because I hate and not because I don't think anyone should transition. I care, and I see things that need to be said, and I'm in a position to say them. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to react to some insanity and TikTok, but one specific kind of subject matter that I found to be quite interesting. So before I move forward, I want to thank you so much for liking, subscribing, commenting, all the things, being members of this channel. It's helping so much, and I do appreciate you very, very much. I hope you know that. So with that, we're going to talk about this love is love thing is now transphobic. It's shocking. It's never good enough. It's ridiculous how people just keep pushing these weird narratives and the trans. It's all trans. It's nothing to do so much with LGBT part of it. It's all the trans people are just gone off the deep end, and they never feel satisfied, which is weird to me. So with that, I'm gonna bring this up. Let's react to this and move forward. Okay, so here we go.
If you have used the term love is love this Pride Month or ever, please watch this video. Now, while this phrase is a beautiful and divinely true sentiment, I want you to reconsider its use as a catch-all phrase for LGBTQIA+ rights. Love is love comes from campaigns for marriage equality. It addresses the fact that all people deserve to love who they love. So it's widely used to express acceptance of all sexualities. But I don't feel this adequately expresses acceptance for trans and non-binary people. Because gender identity is not about who we love. It's about loving who we are. Under my videos speaking towards my experience as a trans person, I've noticed a lot of folks in my comments replying love is love, or even referring to Pride Month as gay pride. This harkens back to a vast history of trans people being pushed to the side in the Pride movement. While trans and gender nonconforming women and people of color like Marsha P. Johnson, Sylvia Rivera, Miss Major, and many more were pivotal in organizing for LGBTQ+ rights during the Stonewall Uprising. A lot of cisgender—
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. Wow. And just like a minute, this person threw us all under the bus. First off, as a transsexual person who's lived this way for 32 years, what are you talking about? Number one. Number two, love is love represents all of us. Let me just remind you, I'm going to read this to you right here, my friend. Love is a phrase meaning that the love expressed by an individual or couple is valid regardless of the sexual orientation or gender identity of their lover or partner. Love is love no matter what type of adversity we're going to face. We're going to be together. This movement is one of unity. What part of that are you not comprehending? I'm actually confused by you. I think a lot of us are confused by you. I feel like you just want to make a problem. That's what I feel. It's always encompassed all of us. It's never not. I've never, as a transsexual person, felt like I wasn't included in that. And I don't know why you all of a sudden feel like you're not included in that. And also, why are you doing that? What purpose is this for? Do you just feel like you need to be seen, or do you feel like you need to be heard, or do you, because I watched your whole TikTok channel, it's literally about you pushing very negative energy out there, and nothing that you do is positive. Nothing. This is not positive. This is actually hurting us. So number one. Number two, why is it always 3 black trans women? Why aren't you ever talking about more trans black women? How come it's only those 3 black trans women? Okay, and then you say others, but you never ever mention any other black trans women. That feels racist to me on some level. And I also want to remind you that some of the narrative that you keep pushing about black trans women is not true. Okay? Not true at all. Marsha P. Johnson was a transvestite. Okay? They were a gay man who liked to dress like a woman. Awesome. Cool. Transvestite, crossdresser. What? They were not trans. They never identified as trans. You are rewriting black history, which is also racist, by the way. Just so you know, friend. Oh, God. The rest of this. I'm scared.
People in our community, specifically gay men, were against trans inclusion in the movement because they felt that it would hold them back. And this still happens today with a huge community of folks who identify as LGB without the T. And in 2007, L&G rights leaders were willing to sacrifice protections for trans people in the 2007 Employment Non-Discrimination Act for the sake of gaining their own. This just shows how society was and is more ready to accept homosexuality before trans existence.
Guess what, sweetie pie? Gay men and gay rights was happening way before trans rights because there were no trans people. I was around. You weren't. I was there. Number one. Number two, the reason why organizations like LGB are starting to exist is because of people like you destroying what we built with our LGB brothers and sisters. You are making it so difficult for us to even exist with the LGB part. Let me give you a little history here. The reason we existed with LGB is because many of us, including myself, came from the LGB movement, okay? As a gay woman, when I transitioned, I still felt a part of that community, and I still do today. And I actually don't blame them for wanting to separate because of wingnuts like you creating all these false narratives, all this negative energy out there as if, oh, poor trans people. We've existed way before TikTok existed, just so you know. And we were doing just fine. It's as if you just want to be marginalized. And if you want to create this hate, gay men are the ones who helped me, not trans people. Gay men helped me to actually transition 32 years ago. So I don't know I feel like you have a little homophobia going on there, sweetie pie.
Exclusion, both within and without the LGBTQIA plus community, is a big reason why us trans folks are still fighting for our rights today. With now 597 anti-trans bills circling the United States, 42 have passed. So I challenge you to consider the implications of the verbiage you are using. Do not let us trans folks fade into the background of your support and allyship. Don't just say love is love. Say love is love and protect trans lives. Then take action accordingly.
I challenge you to sit down and do your history and actually talk real. You're not talking real. You're on TikTok doing this. I know exactly what you're doing. You're doing this to be sort of famous or whatever. You're ruining it all for all of us, friend. All of us, okay? Because I challenge you back, okay, to just sit down and listen to what Love is Love has always represented us as trans people. Never once have I felt not included in Love is Love. It's unbelievable to me, the stuff that you put out there. Like, this is so insanely not only homophobic, but transphobic.
And if you do not know how, you can sign up for my trans allyship video course at the link in my bio. Society consistently uplifts those who have the closest proximity to privilege. A pride parade is not just a big party. It is a march. We need to focus our Pride Month on lifting up those who need our support the most. As Marsha said, no pride for some of us without liberation for all of us. So let's get to.
Well, you don't seem to want to include all of us, so why don't you take your own advice? Oh my God, you are a mess. You are completely all over the place. I can't even believe some of the stuff you just said. The most important part of your message that really was hilarious to me is that you said you can sign up for my allyship. Oh, really? How much does that cost? Are you going to do that as a service to the community, or are you charging for your program to sign up to learn? I beg of anybody out there, if you want to learn about how to be an ally, please don't do it with this person. They're not creating allies. They're creating a divide between me and you. Everything this person said is a complete total lie and a divide, okay? So please don't sign up for their allyship. That's not their intention. Their intention is to brainwash you and gaslight you into thinking that they're marginalized when they're not marginalized, okay? Wow, just wow. I'm just like, what? Really? Wow, you just ruined a whole good thing. Now Love is transphobic. Oh my God, what's next? Oh, I know. I have another one here because I just couldn't even believe that you're actually on the internet. spewing this stuff. Okay, watch the energy of this person. And you're telling me that this person is giving a course on allyship and also wants to create bridges with the rest of the world?
Just because you feel threatened by trans people doesn't mean trans people pose a threat to you. If you feel sickened by trans existence, then you are literally the one who is sick, not us. This is how I know that trans people are on the right side of history. Because in my world, everyone deserves the freedom and autonomy to exist in their truth. Even you. You have every right to hate us. You have every right to think we're sick or going to hell, because ultimately that is your poison. But you do not have any right to claim autonomy over our bodies or our freedom to just be. You do not have any right to make your hate our problem. If only you would stop mistaking your fear for divine resonance and take a moment to look inward, then you would find a universal love that is just...
Okay, this person is nuts. First off, the energy is so hateful and insane. Would you actually take allyship advice from this person? They think the whole world hates them. They're coming to this with such insane, negative, hateful energy. It's crazy to me. First off, I've never felt like that. Never. As a trans person, have I ever felt what you're talking about? Okay, maybe it's because I come to the world with a little bit more open heart, and maybe I come to the world without thinking everybody hates me because I'm trans, okay? That has nothing to do with anything. You're creating, I keep saying it, you create that hate. You're creating the divide. You just said it in the last video I just said. You were making the accusation towards gay men that they hate trans people. Yet here you are saying that's your problem. You're the one who's creating that hate. Wow, it's so crazy. Do you even listen to yourself before you post these?
Begging to be held. That love is the power that you see us walking in. That love is our light that is just too bright for you. Not because it's wrong, but because you've spent too much time with the lights off. Now, I wish that you would wake up, but like I said, that is your choice. You can stay afraid. Just stop trying to drag us back into the dark. It will never work. I love you. And once you love you, then you will be able to love me.
You do not love you. Just so you know, friend, you do not love you in any way, shape, or form. Secondly, what are you talking about? Literally, what are you talking about? Who hates you? I mean, they probably hate you because you're insane, but they don't hate you because you're trans. Nope, not one inkling of it. It's your energy. Okay, it's your energy, and it's your desire to create these sort of schisms between, you're making it us versus them. It's not how it is. It's not us versus them. It's you versus them. Okay, so maybe if you come to this with a little less gnarly energy, I feel like, whoa, I would hate to even be around you. Number one. Number two, and maybe if you came to it with less of an idea that the world hates you, you might be able to make some change. Okay? That's just a little bit of Trampa advice for you. I hope you enjoyed this crazy. That was crazy. That was actually, I don't even know what else to say other than it was less heavy than the other stuff I've been doing. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. And today, my resident lesbian, Vicky. Hey, Vicky.
I'm back.
We got the lesbian back. I'm super excited. I love lesbians. Well, we need you. We actually need you. We need your voice. We need to start giving you more space to have these conversations. And, since I get to push back on the trans thing, and I'm not a lesbian, though I was, it's important that we give you a voice. Yeah. So I appreciate you always joining me and having these.
Well, and I appreciate being here. I really enjoy talking to you. And I think these conversations they're hard conversations, but we need to have these conversations. It's about time.
Thanks, everybody, for getting us to 100,000 subscribers. And thanks for subscribing, liking, pushing this stuff out there, because this channel wouldn't be thriving if it wasn't for all of you watching and really understanding that we're not trying to be mean and nasty like them. We're trying to sort of stop this nonsense. There's a younger generation out there who will not benefit from what these people are doing at all. Young lesbians are not going to benefit from this. They're going to benefit from me and you speaking out against it and saying, "Wait a minute here. You know, just because you think you're a lesbian, you're a man. Men are not lesbians."
That was always the going joke. You go to a bar, and and I still do to this day. I'll have some guy walk over to me and say, "Oh, you're a lesbian? Well, so am I," and kind of,
Oh,
in like a creepy, that's
totally,
always been a
totally.
thing, and it's always
Yeah,
been a thing. And
yeah.
now it's just extended into this other
Uh,
area because people that are trans that maybe really aren't trans
yeah,
are using the trans part to like
that's right.
invade and creep up on girls and stuff.
Ew,
And
ew.
it's like, and people say, "Oh, I used to think that that was a conservative talking point, right?"
Sure.
I was
Yes,
of that mind frame for
of
a long
course.
time. I thought, geez,
Yeah,
that can't be real. People aren't really doing that.
that's right.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
People are really doing that and messing with trans stuff.
Here we are. So,
Mhm.
with that, friends, Vicky, I hate you
Listen,
for saying
I hate myself right now. I'm tortured. I don't know if I'm a masochist or what, because
you
this
are.
stuff that I'm like, this is torturous. I can't anymore. I
It's
don't know how much longer I
gross.
can do it.
It's not right. It's not right. So let's look at TikTok Danny.
Okay, so I always thought that me saying I was a lipstick lesbian meant what Google says. I just absolutely am into hair and makeup and all things. Traditionally, I'm air quoting feminine because there's no gender, but I'm traditionally into things like that. And so I thought that that's what it meant. If there's a different meaning, please let me know. I did not know that. But I have been with non-binary people and gender fluid people, and I would date a trans woman. I just haven't. And so this comment makes me so sad because that's not who I am. But if there's anything that I actually don't know, please let me know. I didn't know that. I've been out for like 15 years and that's just what we always said. But if it's changed, or I could use different language, please let me know.
What? That is what a lipstick, and then it says on there. Well, I'm going to put it up on the screen for us, but it
Right.
says on there it means transphobic lesbian, a lesbian who only dates women,
Mhm.
doesn't date trans women, non-binary. That's not what a lipstick lesbian is. It's just
No,
a
yeah.
feminine lesbian.
They, whoever this
What?
person is that is telling that young lady that, is just pissed off because they got
Yep.
rejected by a
Yep.
lipstick lesbian or whatever they were. And so now they're like, you know what? You're transphobic. That's what a lipstick lesbian is because you won't date me. It's like, dear freaking God, grow up. I mean,
Well,
seriously?
also, they're literally going to change the definition because it didn't work for them. Look, anyone out there who doesn't know what a lipstick lesbian is, let me tell you, because I know I came from that era when it
Mhm.
actually started. I remember exactly when it started. I was a hardcore dyke butch les, and then all of a sudden this whole new era came out. I think it was like maybe early '90s, and it was the lipstick lesbians, and it was
Yeah.
it means feminine lesbian
Yeah,
because
that's all it
my
means.
era, that's all it means. In my era, it was butch and femme. That was
Yep.
really like a big
Hmm.
deal. And then femmes started dating each other, and that they were called lipstick lesbians. And that's all it
Yeah.
means. It's femmes who like femmes. That's it. That's it.
Yep.
That's nothing to do with any.
It,
That's because a lesbian is a female, not a male. So
mhm.
that's why they're pissed because trans women are males and they're not
Right.
lesbians. I
Right.
don't care how you identify, what you want to be. You're not a lesbian. You're a trans woman who wants to date women. You can identify as a lesbian, but you're actually not.
Right.
I'm
Like
not
you
a
can say
man.
it, you can say it all day long, but
It's so
and
frustrating.
it's not, and I can't speak for everybody, Buck, but I don't
Of course not.
most lesbians don't really want to date a trans woman. I mean, it could happen. I'm
They
sure there's
don't. The
situations where
majority
it
do not.
has, but I don't think
I
that
know
it's,
some who do.
yeah,
I do, but they but also the trans women don't make a big deal out of it. They
right.
know who they are. They don't run around going, "I'm a lesbian," and they don't do that. I know some who date trans women, and that's their deal. And that who cares? They're not making a
Yeah,
big deal out of it.
and it's not a big deal if you want to, but
That's right. That's right.
I don't think that
That's right.
I don't think that lesbians started this whole debate anyways. I think they literally were
They
walking
didn't.
down the street, well, all the lesbians were walking down the street one day, and then they were like, "Hey, want to date me?" And we're like, "Oh, well, you're trans, so I don't really know if I want to do that." And then they flipped out.
That's right.
Like,
That's right. Oh my God, Vicky, I came from when I transitioned, the whole lesbian community hated me,
Hmm.
right? And I didn't, I was like, I'm not a les anymore. It's all good. Like, no big deal. But they were so like angry at me and so and disconnected. Of course, now 30 years later, you get it. But then it hurts your
Right.
feelings and all of that. But
Right.
that being said, I'm not a lesbian. By definition, I guess I'm a lesbian because I'm a woman I'm a female who's with a female. So that's the
Right.
definition of a lesbian,
But
right?
so,
I don't identify as a
socially,
woman.
and we've talked about this before, socially, you're walking down the street, people think you're a straight couple.
There's no way
Yeah.
with my kid, me, and my wife, we look like a
Yeah.
crazy straight couple with a kid.
Yeah,
That's what we
yeah,
look like.
you look like the definition of the nuclear family that everybody hates
Totally.
these days, right? Like you're not.
And I
Well,
love, I'm
I
very
do
proud
too.
to be part of it.
I love it
I'm very
too.
family.
I'm
Yep,
very
I'm totally
much
family oriented.
in
Yep,
favor of that. And I'm very much in favor of monogamy. That's just me.
me too. I'm monogamous as well. But again,
Yep.
whatever you want to do, go with it. But
Hmm.
stop forcing other people to do what you makes you
Yeah.
comfortable. Figure it out on your own.
Right.
But like stop making the whole world move around. And also, I'm not going to stand for it.
Hmm.
I'm not going to stand. I won't. You know that. I very much support women's rights and I
Sure.
support
Yeah.
lesbian rights. And you can't do that to gay women. It's disgusting and wrong. And any trans woman out there who tells me that I'm wrong, you know what? I lived as a lesbian. You never will be a lesbian. You can identify that way, but you are not a lesbian. Okay, so get over yourself.
And it's not
Like,
that
deal
deep
with
of a
it.
thing. It's just
It's just
females who
not.
like females.
If you were born male but were transgender and became female, but you liked females, are you a lesbian or straight? You're a lesbian. Because trans women are real women. You would be a woman, a trans woman, but a woman, and a woman that likes other women, that's a lesbian. Nothing else.
You see how they're trying?
Mhm.
It's so
Mhm.
frustrating. They just keep saying it over again.
Yep.
You're not a lesbian. You're just not. Like what why are you so adamant to do that? I don't if you were born male but were transgender and become then it says if you were born a male and became transgender to female, but you like females, does that make you a lesbian or straight? Really? Come on. So this person, look at this person. They're insane.
And they're in a school. Why are you having these TikTok conversations with yourself in your classroom? What are you doing? I don't get it, Bach. Like, I don't understand. Like, that looks
With
like
yourself.
an elementary school classroom.
It does. Actually, I
It's,
think this one is a teacher, to be honest with you. I think I've seen them before.
and that's what
This
you're
is a,
on the internet doing between classes or whatever. Like, this is
well,
our
the fact
education
that
system.
this is a teacher is fucking creepy.
It
I wouldn't keep
is.
my kid out of class. They just seem creepy and they have an agenda. Teachers
Mhm.
aren't supposed to have an agenda. They're
Nope.
supposed to come to school and teach my kid math and science and all the other shit,
Yep.
not their pronouns and not who they date and not that they're a lesbian.
And
Like
what
who
lesbian
cares? And
means and what it doesn't mean, and that is this is why the LGBT community is in a dip right now as far as acceptance, because
that's right.
they've
You got it.
pushed this envelope so far that it's like, and I'm not on board with that. It's weird, and then talking
No,
about it
you
in
can't be.
this light about, oh well, if you were born a guy but you transition to a woman, are you a lesbian or aren't you a lesbian? And it's like, stop it, just stop it with this stuff.
It's I think it's called circular reasoning. So they
Yeah,
just keep going
yeah.
around
Hmm.
in a circle, and they base nothing on facts, nothing on facts at all, because that's not facts.
No.
A lesbian is a woman who loves a woman, and a trans woman is not a. See how she had he fuck him, a real woman. Well, what's a real woman? Like the fact that you even have to say real woman. Women never go around saying I'm a real woman. They just don't
Well,
unless they're being
we have
like
to now.
well, unless you're being pushed, but you don't walk down the street, I'm a real woman, right? So
Right.
that's how you got them. That's how you got them because
Yeah.
they're always saying, I'm a real woman.
Well,
Like,
it's this push for like the postmodernism thing that nothing,
yeah,
everything's
yeah,
relative,
yeah,
nothing is
that's right.
real, nothing is
Solid.
absolute,
Yeah,
nothing's solid.
that's
You
right.
know,
That's
definitely,
right.
if they don't understand, well, some people I think do understand how dangerous it is, and that's why they're doing it. But then I think there's also a group
That's
of
right.
followers that just think, oh wow, that's so cool, and it's
Oh,
like,
totally.
yeah.
Totally.
When I say trans men can be lesbians or trans masks can be lesbians or date lesbians, One of the first things people say is usually, okay, well then how do we change the definition of lesbian because it's supposed to be non-men loving non-men? And I would encourage you to think about defining sexuality in the same way that we define gender. 50 years ago, we defined woman as someone with a vagina. Now we realize that that language isn't inclusive, so we say anyone who identifies as a woman is a woman, not someone who identifies as a woman and wears dresses to prove it, or someone who identifies as a woman and goes through hormone replacement therapy to prove it. We just assume that if someone uses a label in good faith, that they're probably a woman. The non-men loving non-men label was taken from Tumblr in 2014 as a way to revise the lesbian label to be more inclusive. And the other critique is, well then cis het men can call themselves lesbians. Okay, there are cis men right now calling themselves trans women, and they don't do that in good faith. They do it to get a rise out of us. And it ultimately has no effect on queer people, other than getting conservatives to rally against us. But like, just because a cis man wants to say that he's a trans woman is a gotcha moment, doesn't make trans women identities less real. Just because a cis het man wants to make a joke about him being a lesbian, doesn't mean that trans men en masse are inherently predators and shouldn't be allowed in the lesbian community. And the third critique I get is, well, I'm a trans man or a trans mass and I don't want to be a lesbian or date a lesbian. Great. You don't have to. No one has to date anyone they don't want to date. Lesbians don't have to date non-binary people. Trans people don't have to date cis people. How someone else chooses to identify does not affect you at all.
She's the one who would always be like, you have to. Oh, now she's backing up. She used to always say it's transphobic if you don't date someone. Now she's like, you don't have to date anyone. Oh, I see how that works. And trans mask lesbians makes zero sense.
No.
Zero.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Why are you transitioning then? Why are you transitioning and still calling yourself a lesbian? Why are you doing that?
Yeah. What I find interesting about what she said, and she said it, I think, pretty early on in the clip, was she kind of admits that there's been a discussion about changing the definition of the word lesbian.
That's
so
right.
next time
That's
somebody
right.
says we're not doing that, we are.
That's great.
And you're openly talking about it, flagrantly talking about
point.
changing definitions. That is literally what you're doing, and you're talking about it and admitting to it. So,
wow. Great point, Vicky. You know, I don't understand. Create your own space.
yeah, call
right?
yourself
Create
whatever
your
you
own
want,
space.
but don't take other definitions of terms and make them something else to fit your desire or need for that particular moment.
And then turn on the lesbians. That's the thing. I mean, it's like we're lesbians and you're not, even though you're actually a lesbian, and go F yourself, and we're taking it all away from you. That's literally what they do with trans, what they've done with gay people, what they've done with lesbians. They're literally redefining our space, right? Why don't you create? Well, I just don't understand why they don't just be a trans lesbian. How about that? Call yourself a transbian or a trans lesbian, or not a lesbian. You're not a lesbian, okay? You could. I mean, I understand sometimes. Okay, those two words together make sense to me. Trans lesbian.
Transbian.
You're still claiming to be trans. You're not a woman. You're a trans lesbian. So now I can define. Now I can say whether or not I really am wanting to date you, because even though you might look like a woman, right? So let me give you this scenario, Vicky. What if there was this hot chick that you were, or whatever, I don't know if you're into butches or femmes or whatever. Okay, let's just say a hot chick, okay? And hot chick, and she's super hot, and you're just like, oh yeah, she's awesome, and you go up to the bar and you're buying a drink, and she's coming off as a woman to you, but then you find out that she's a trans woman. Now you decide you don't want to date her. Let's say you decide you don't want to date her because she is, but would that be the scenario? Would you be not interested, even though you saw her as hot, but she still has a penis? She still is male.
It would be difficult for me, I think, to follow through with that. And I would also not want to make them uncomfortable because I might feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Because I actually am a caring person. So it's like, you know, I mean, I think about my wife. She's very, very feminine. And I'm like, what if when I first met her, she was actually a dude? Like, and I'm so madly in love with her now, obviously. But if she had said that, something in my brain probably would have been like, oh, and I would have seen it differently then. I just would have. That's just human nature. You know, then you start seeing things like, oh, that they have this guyish part of them or something, and now I see it, or
That's right.
you know, I don't know. I don't have experiences with dating trans people, so I can't really speak to it too much. But I also think I don't have those experiences because I didn't want to have those experiences because I think I would have.
And trans women are not real women. So get over yourselves, people. Just own who
Yeah.
you are, move forward in the world, and watch how better your life will be when you live honestly within
Right.
your space. And stop messing with the lesbians.
Yeah,
Leave them
God.
alone. Like, create your own space. God, it's so stupid. Anyway, Vicky, thanks for picking those out. I totally
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
you a
you.
lot. Thanks for joining me on the channel again. And you guys like, subscribe, leave Vicky some beautiful comments. We're trying to like wake people up out there.
It's
It's just
happening. It's
gotten out of
happening.
control. So